Shalom Akim, all praises goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honor goes out into the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth, and much love and peace and blessings goes to the hopeful like brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, as well as those sincere listeners repenting and coming back to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So this will be a lesson, and this will be given the title hell. All right, because all out hell is coming and is here. Hell is here. The hell is cracked off, but the next spirit to be unleashed is death. All right, because people all across America and around the world are catching hell due to the situation behind this COVID-19 lockdowns and all this other stuff, right? But pretty soon great death is about to hit. Okay, so let me play this. But this lesson is mostly about the hell that has been unleashed. Because this Edomite woman, which you're going to hear, she showed you the spirit of the American people. That's how they're frantic. They don't know what's going on. If you listen to her voice, this woman, she's in dire straits. She's fucked up, right? So.
That's La La Land. You know?
Well,
I got a letter from.
What are you going to do now?
I'm going to keep trying to get the word out and trying to bring awareness to a point that maybe they'll do something. For myself personally, I've been very blessed. I mean, quite frankly, awed. My security guard started, in tears, sitting, Angela, I had lost faith in humanity. And after this, it's restored hope for me because we have had donations coming in. But I'm one business, and I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that with the help of this, I actually might survive if they pass a package, what is going on that our leadership can shut our businesses and not, with 2 days notice before the holidays, and not offer a solution to pay us to stay in our homes. And if they can't, then do the risk assessment. I have 2 employees that have lost people that are close to them to suicide in the last 2 months. I have a bartender sleeping on a couch. One with a 3-year-old who can't pay her rent and can't get a job. And I just hired her because we'd gotten busy in October. She had 2 weeks of training and then was laid off again from her, 3rd job. This is not realistic. This is not common sense. We need, if anything, if I can appeal to Newsom and Garcetti and say, listen, when you leave your office, do you want to be remembered like, Martin Luther King or like Kennedy? Do you want people to look back and say, my gosh, we were in this time of trouble and these people came up with outside thinking and created compromise to keep us all safe and all going? Because people, it's a human, we cannot live without connection. We cannot live without food. We cannot live without rent. And so I don't understand what is going on here, how they can be that out of touch that they can't see this. And I'm not,
But are you frustrated as well, though, Angela, by what appears to be a double standard? I don't know the latest and whether that film company, I know you're not citing them. You want everyone to be open to do business. But the double standard from politicians who say one thing and do quite another, of course, it's gotten legion in your state. I'm just wondering, was that what really gets you angrier?
I mean, that is nonstop. So let's just say, you're a small business owner like myself, and you see the governor go out to French Laundry and spend $15,000 on a bar bill. Do you know how much that would have helped a small business like mine? In the middle of a pandemic when he's telling us not to with a bunch of people. It's the never ending, basically shoving it in your face that we're different and we
So there you have it, man. These people are catching all out hell. But let me remind you, brothers, who these people are. They are a bunch of sinners against the Most High. You got a bunch of Edomites, a bunch of rebellious Jakes and the other nations that before all this shit took place, advocating for homosexuality and feminism and all these other wicked doctrines that are against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now they feeling it. So don't feel bad for these fucking people. Rejoice in that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is destroying our enemies, because these people, though they painting sob stories for themselves, but they are our enemies, and the Most High is doing away with their ass. You know, and it's the ones on low right now that's catching hell. You know, the average Edomite, the business owners, people that are unemployed. You know, but these governors and politicians and rich people ain't really affected. They're getting affected somewhat. I'm pretty sure you have certain rich people that done went down a few tax brackets, but the super rich, they have plans of evading all this shit. But pretty soon it's going to come to them too. A lot of them going to start getting put to death, because the spirit of anger is going to get raised up on the common man to just start wrecking shit out here. Because like Gerald Celente says, always, right? He says, when people lose everything, they lose it. So they got a little scruples left, a little, piece of bread at the crib with some crumbs left before they lose that, and then they just lose their minds and then get violent. Okay, so let's get into some scriptures. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And that's the spirit that's turning up in America right now. You have Antifa versus the right wing, left wing versus right wing, socialists versus capitalists. And we see that with these different clashes that happen in Washington State. And there was one crazy one that just happened in Oregon. I believe it was either Oregon or Washington. It was basically Antifa versus Trump supporters. They were fighting each other. They were brawling, man. So this is prophecy come to pass because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai declared it. And yes, it does say Egyptian, so it's not talking about the Arabs over there in Egypt right now or even the ancient Egyptians. It's talking about Americans, because America is modern Egypt. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. So the spirit of Egypt is failing. What was the spirit? Going to Macy's, just waiting in the McDonald's line for a Happy Meal, going out to restaurants on the weekend after you worked your 40 to 60 hours. All that shit is failing. It says, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So people starting to get quote unquote spiritual, but it's spiritual on the left hand. They're praying to quote unquote God and Jesus Christ. They're seeking after palm readers, and you have the rise of witchcraft in America. So that's what these people are doing, because their spirit of Egypt is out of there. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts. So these Egyptians, they're given to the hands of a cruel Lord. That represents these different governors, all the way up to the president, all the way up to the elites, because the reason being is because the reason why the scriptures call them cruel, I should say, is because of these draconian measures that are being taken behind the pandemic. Okay, they're shutting down businesses, canceling people that aren't essential, which is tanking the economy. All right, that's cruelty, because in all essence, it's a scamdemic. It's not a plandemic, because the virus itself is not even that deadly. But here it is. They're introducing all types of measures, and people are killing themselves. Like the woman said on the video, she said she 2 of her employees lost people in their personal life to suicide, meaning they killed themselves because they can't handle the pressure. So they're done. They're done. These people out here are done. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50. And this explains why you shouldn't feel bad for these people, because they're getting their judgment. It says, for many great, 2nd Ezra 8 and 50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world. And we're in that latter time. All right. It says, because they have walked in great pride. See? So these people have been proud and pompous, talking about God bless America. They celebrating Turkey Day and Christmas and totally disregard the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and displace him and X him out of their minds. That's pride. That's prideful. When you make your life all about yourself and fulfilling yourself, and or maybe something outside of yourself, like a loved one or a religion, an idol, that's prideful. Self-promotion, that's pride right there. And that's what these people do. That's what they believe in, is self-promotion, the American dream. Fake it till you make it. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 1. It says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh. So that's incumbent upon our people, the Israelites, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not dealing with any other nation beside the Israelites. So when it's speaking to remember the Creator, it's talking to you Israelites. Remember him while you're young. It says, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after rain. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. So that's the time that we live in right now. Meaning that's showing you there's a very small frame and small window for Jake actually to repent. When this lockdown first happened, you had all type of brothers and sisters wake up, you know, going back to February, March, April. And the reason being is because they seen that all hell was finna break loose. But when the violence happens, when the Israelites are off the streets, that's when it's going to be too late for most people. That's when that door of repentance is basically closed, you know. And I can't say who the Lord will have mercy upon and who he won't. But the time is short. The time is short in which you can't even get your life right. Because when you don't, that's when judgment comes upon you. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. So the doors are shut right now. A lot of different businesses closing. What does that represent? Doors being shut. Because when the business is open, its doors are open. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. You know, there's not going to be any musicians out here playing music. You know what I mean? No concerts to go to. Nothing to really enjoy yourself in, because it's the time of judgment. And you didn't prepare your life. So now it's time for you to be destroyed. But for the brothers that be in the faith, we actually got our minds right. Lord's willing, we endure to the end. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Job. This is Job chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And that the wicked, in this case, represents the laborers, because that represents the laborers coming against the rich men for these draconian measures, for everything that Esau has done through robbery. Okay, so because if the money flow isn't coming to these business owners and so forth, who does this money flow change over to? Who's receiving the money still? The top elites, the 1%. People that are in the bracket of being hundreds, you got tens of millions of dollars to hundreds of millions to billionaires. They're still getting their dough, you know. So basically, this is the time of great tribulation, the time of reaping, and a lot of people are set to be judged pretty soon. So all the tensions are boiling over. All praise goes to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and Shalom.